Hello everybody, welcome to the bad side of the internet. My name is Friday, and today I'm going to be discussing Season 3, Episode 5 of Wynonna Earp. I'll just put a little trigger warnings in here, like just general talking about depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, stuff like that. So if you're watching this, though, there is a strong likelihood that you've seen the episode and therefore you know what I'll be talking about. But I thought I'd just put that in there if anyone isn't comfortable listening to that sort of discussion. You probably want to click off. But yes, this episode has so much stuff in it. Like, heaps of people I've seen have watched it and they've been saying that they think it's one of the better episodes because it's got like that fun, not real aspect to it. But I think that really, to me, it sort of threw off. It was a really good way of being able to get everything out without actually having any consequences for it, which it's a bit of a teetering between lazy writing and really good writing, I don't know which one it is. Is it lazy because they're like, okay, we need to get all these secrets out and we need to be able to have this drama without actually having to have consequences for it? Or is that actually just really good writing because they can do all these things without having to change their storyline a huge amount? It's probably, I'm probably being cynical and I should probably leave. It's good writing. And the way they did it was very, very well done. It just really reminds me of last season when they did the alternate universe, which was very good episode. Loved that episode so much. But it was it's whenever they do one of those, oh yeah, we'll just do one episode dedicated to this thing, I always sort of find myself being like, but I want to know more. I always want to know more. It's always going to be more information. I love myself some information. What else happened? We finally got our confirmation of Waverly being at least half angel, which everyone knew already. If you were thrown off by that one, I don't know what show you've been watching. Pretty much, because it's been a fan theory since midway through season 2. I think most people were like, yeah, she's definitely an angel. Like Bobo calling her kin, that just it was like, well, she's not a demon because she's Waverly. I think the whole maybe she's a revenant. I think some people thought, yeah, maybe she was a revenant, and then the whole crossing the barrier and obviously not being a revenant, but also I don't think anyone actually believed that she was a revenant. Have you met Waverly Earp? She's the sunshiniest, most beautiful human in the world. Sorry, this light is pissing me off. Sorry, my window is open, as you can see. It's very, very bright, and it's good because I'm like, oh yeah, I get good lighting, but also no matter where I put my camera, I'm gonna not be able to see myself. So I hope you guys don't mind that. Sorry. Okay, what else do I want to talk about? Mama Earp. This is the first episode that we've really actually seen what she's like, but also not. I think that's sort of another thing that annoys me about this whole psychotropic drug thing, is that we met Mama Earp while she was bound to a demon and being driven crazy by it, and then we meet her and she's high on cupcakes and shit, and it's we don't really know what she's like yet. We still we've had 2 episodes with her really deeply involved in it, and we still don't really know what she's like. Which worries me a little bit, because I think a lot of the fandom has jumped on this oh, Mama Earp's not that bad, she obviously loves Waverly, she's doing all these things to keep Waverly safe, and she sacrificed herself for so long time to keep Waverly safe, and that makes her a good person. But also, I don't know, I was just really thrown off by that moment, her coming out to her mum was really good. It was really nice. She just went, yeah, she went, oh, she was a bit shocked, but she just went, yeah, we'll talk about that later, sort of thing. But then, in the police cell, when she obviously met Nicole, and she says to her through the bars, she says, it was nice to meet you, officer. And Wynonna goes, was it though? And she goes, nah. And it's I don't know, I'm really waiting for Mama not to like Nicole. For the same reasons that Wynonna doesn't. And because at least Wynonna likes Nicole now because she's had so much time to get to know her and knows how important she is to Waverly. But I'm waiting for Mama, because they're so similar, to be like, no, I don't like Nicole. because she's a narc, or because she's a stickler, or because she's a cop, or because she locked me up for the night, or whatever. So I'm waiting for there to be some drama there. At least it technically won't be homophobic drama, so that's a plus, you know. But I'm waiting for there to be some drama there, so that's got my anxiety up a little bit high. Speaking of my anxiety being a little bit high, yeah, they probably should have put a trigger warning on that episode. I'm not saying, like, I know, like, I've never actually seen a show that has trigger warnings, but they usually have content warning, at least, to be like, But it would have been good, mostly because I know a lot of people, like, it was a really well-written scene. It was really well done. They did it right, and I'm very glad. Like, it's not like they sort of went to, oh yeah, she's definitely going to do that, and, like, left it there and it was fine. They resolved it. That line, God, that line was so good. I stay and I care and all, and I love them back. And that was just, it was so good to hear, like, as someone who suffered from a fair amount of depression and suicidal thoughts. And that's pretty much the conclusion you do come to when you sort of go, this is my option. I can do this thing, but no, because I care, because I need to stay and I need to take care of my people and I love them. And that's, I don't know, and also it was very distressing because the way she says it and the way it was written with the I stay, it makes it seem like she's thought about it. You know, and I don't know if that's what they meant to do. I don't know if that's how that was meant to be perceived, but for me it did seem very, I stay and I'm still here and I care about them, and it seemed like something that she'd thought of or something that had happened and she'd had that thought process before, which really distresses me because Waverly should never think that way ever, and she's an angel, you know. She should never have a suicidal thought. She should never think about the fact that, like, her life would be better off if she wasn't there, you know. That distressed me so very much. I can't deal with this. I have to close my curtains because as much as the lighting is good, it's not that good. Oh. Maybe this. No, not that. Oh. Alright, so lighting isn't as good anymore, but you guys are going to deal with it. But yes, so that was a lot of anxiety. Especially, I was so thankful to Emily because that scene, I even wrote a tweet about it, and, like, I had to make sure that people knew, because we are so fortunate because we have this showrunner who understands queer tropes. You know, she understands how we feel about television, and I literally had a heart attack the minute that Jolene walked into Waverly's bedroom. I just went, no, they can't do this. They can't. Because any other show, they would have taken it further than they did. Any other show, they would have. There would have been a kiss, a forced kiss, or, like, a spell moment or something like that. And they might have even done, like, they kiss and then she realizes, or something like that. There would have been, because they want the views, or because they think it's more dramatic, or because they don't care about how we feel about it. And I was waiting for it. I was so nervous. I literally paused it like 4 times. I, like, went, no, I can't watch it. And my girlfriend sitting next to me going, no, come on, like, I'll just watch it. And then they didn't. And I wasn't surprised because I shouldn't be by now, because the show is so good and they treat us so well, but also, you know, that anxiety is still completely there. No matter how much I try to train myself out of it, it's still there. It's still underlying everything. So, yeah, I was just really glad that they didn't go any further with that. Like, they had just enough drama. And it wasn't even the drama. Like, I understand that they were putting it there because Jolene wants to be Waverly. She has witnessed Waverly be happy. Well, not happy, but she's been appreciated and loved and all these things for her whole life. She's had to be the back burner bad one that no one notices or even knows is there, and feels ignored, and Waverly's has people who love her. So you have the scene in the bathroom where she's, like, chatting to Wynonna and trying to like be a sister, you know. Oh, I'll teach, like, oh yeah, we'll go out there and we'll kick his ass together and it'll be great and all that stuff. And she was all trying to be like a sister, and I was sitting there going, yeah, I get that. She's trying to be Waverly. And then, so it does make sense for her to go to Nicole as well and be like, I want to be Waverly. But they could have gone further with it and they didn't. I'm really, really, really glad that they didn't. On the Nicole note, though, like, oh my god. Just, one, she looked so good this episode. Like, I think they've actually finally found, like, that perfect uniform spot. Like, first season, like, I'm still in love with Nicole's first season uniform. I always will be. That first season uniform was, you know, that butch cop with the hands on the belt and this very square, very sort of formal look to it. And then second season they had that sort of tight, and so there was like one was like sexy butch and one was just sexy. And this one, this season has been very like, it's like the perfect meeting of the two. And I'm starting to notice it more and more and more. Because they keep making her do stuff in it, which is rude in my opinion. Like, the queers don't need this. Give me a little heart attack every time I watch television. But no one's really talking about it, so I don't know if it's a theory that other people have thought about, but she doesn't hurt Nicole. She just puts her in the closet and closes the door and sort of locks her in. And then later, when Bolshar takes her, she says, the girl was for you. And she talks about, she's like, I owe you, and I have fealty to you, and the girl was for you. And she obviously didn't mean Waverly, because Waverly, unless she's trying to act like killing Waverly was for him, but I don't think so. I think that she knows that Bolshar's looking for Nicole and trapped her. And the ring coming back to her is all very interesting too, because me and Erin, my missus, have been rewatching season 2, and there's lots of the widows, and the widows all have rings, and they all throw, like, when they do the whole, like, trying to find the seal, they throw the rings to be, like, trying to get information about where the seals are and trying to communicate with Bolshar and all that stuff. And if it's Clutie's ring, if it's technically Bolshar's ring, I don't know. Like, it's weird for a ring to move around of its own accord, and that's the only other time that we've seen rings do something of their own accord. So I'm trying to figure out, like, is she, people are saying, like, is she a Clutie? Is she, like, Constance Clutie's long-lost daughter? Or is she, like, a widow? Or what's going on there? It is weird, though, that it burnt Jolene. I assumed she burnt Jolene because Jolene was on Bolshar's bad side, because I don't know. It's all very interesting. I want to know so much, but it's just not fair, too, that we finally figure out what's going on with Waverly, and now we don't know what hell's going on with Nicole. Like, can't we just know stuff for 1 second? Oh, God. I was so frustrated. I was like, okay, yeah, no, confirmed. Waverly's an angel, confirmed. Like, we already knew that, but it's good to have it down, and, like, we definitely know that. And now we have Nicole. It's like, what is going on there? But as you guys know, I haven't done reviews for the last episodes since episode 1, because episode 2 sort of broke me a little bit, so I sort of let that go. So I'm going to do like a recap video probably after this, just to talk out all the other stuff that's happened, because I have lots of theories and lots of like feelings about how everything was done. But yeah, no, this episode was very, very good. I want Jolene to be dead, but I have a feeling she might not be, if you know what I mean. Like, she was absorbed by the tree, that she could just be dead, or not. Like, Robin was taken by some viney thing. Like, you don't know that she's dead or not. Like, I hope she is, because I think her coming back up would be a bit of a backstep in the storyline, you know, like, unless she can give them more information or whatever. Yes. And what else Wynonna and Doc having to have that conversation that they're going to have next week. I watched the promo and I was just like, yes, finally they're going to talk about this. Because, yeah, that bar fight though, like, this is what I mean, like, I don't know how I feel about Mama. Because she's got this, like, chaotic energy, like, complete and utter. Like, I know she just got out of, like, an insane asylum, and that's completely fine. But I know it's just something about the way that she just doesn't seem to give a shit about. And the whole conversation in the prison where she was like, oh, like, she didn't even really go, oh, I have a granddaughter, and oh, like, she just sort of went, that's great, you sent that kid away, because imagine we can't be a family, is sort of the way she worded it. It was very, oh, like, imagine us being drunk at the back of the nativity play. And one, I don't think, like, Wynonna would do that. I really don't think she would. And two, like, why is that, I don't know, like, why is that such an absurd idea for your daughter to be in a loving family and for everyone to care about each other, sort of thing? I don't know. I'm worried that there's going to be a lot of drama with Mama. That's all. Especially because every time someone comes back, Waverly gets pushed out. And Waverly's supposed to be Wynonna's favorite person in the world, you know? Last episode, that's what she said. And don't even get me started on Waverly and her not saying I love you stuff, because that's just heartbreaking. And even though this episode she did say, like, and I love them back, it's just not the same. And you know it isn't, because if you've been in that situation where you feel like you can't say I love you back because you're not worthy of them loving you in the first place, which is what a lot of depression does to you. And then Waverly's also got all the feelings of people just leaving. You know, people either leaving or dying, and so she doesn't want to love people so hard, and which would be really hard because she obviously does, you know, she obviously loves people, she just doesn't say it, which, you know, is very, so much anxiety, so much depression, like, come on, babe. And, like, yeah, that last Way Hot scene, though, was beautiful, really well done. Yeah, I don't know, I sort of, like, I don't know, like, there's half of me that's like, the show isn't about Way Hot. Obviously, you know, it's Wynonna Earp, it's about Wynonna, she's the main character. But the other half of me is like, stop panning away, stop cutting in the middle of scenes where they're obviously about to have the do, or they're about to make out, or whatever. And I know we got a lot last season of them, like, their physical relationship and stuff, and I was very grateful for that. Like, that was very good. But they still panned a lot. And they do the whole thing, like, all of the sex scenes that Wynonna's been in, she's been in, like, her underwear on top of some guy. You know, so it's not like it's not a show that does that. It's something else. Or this, I don't know, like, yeah, this season they seem to be doing very, like, oh yeah, they're in this domestic loving relationship. But I don't know, it feels a little bit lesbian bed deathy. You know? I don't know, like, I don't know. But then again, we might be apparently getting a lap dance next episode. I don't know if it's actually going to be a lap dance or not, if people are just jumping the gun. But it might be, it might not be. But anyway, I'm going to stop this video so I can go and do another video on everything else. And I probably talked for way too long anyway. But we'll see what happens next episode, huh?